Welcome back to Frontline News. I'm Shane Masters. It's now time for Frontline Business. There's an urgent call for more investment in the supply side of the tourism value chain. The call was made at the Jamaican Investment Forum in Montego Bay, St. James. Details in this report.
Speaking at the Jamaica Investment Forum at the Montego Bay Convention Center, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett highlighted that greater investment in the supply side will ensure greater retention of the money spent by tourists. He noted that the retention of the dollar globally is averaging 20 cents. He, however, said that in the case of the Caribbean, we are between 15 cents at the low and 50 cents. He says the high of 50 cents resides with the Dominican Republic, while Jamaica is at 30 cents. This is the reason the value added from tourism remains low, and the growth in these countries that have high tourism dependency remains low. Minister Bartlett added that there needs to be a strategic shift in terms of where the emphasis for investment must be to enable the destination to convert the capital that tourism has into the wealth that people need. My investment thrust is therefore to build out the capacity of the supply side within the recipient countries so that the wealth of tourism can reach the ordinary man in our communities. The Tourism Ministry has also established a $1 billion revolving loan through the Tourism Enhancement Fund and the Exim Bank to assist with investment for micro and small Jamaican-owned businesses to build capacity to create and compete. Kimberly Wright, Frontline Business.
The government is being blamed for the rapid devaluation of the Jamaican dollar against its United States counterpart. The Jamaican dollar hit a new record low on Thursday as it entered the $132 territory against the U.S. greenback. Opposition spokesman on finance, Mark Golding, has charged that, quote, customers already hurt by rising electricity and gas prices can brace for further battering from unwanted prices increases driven by the falling Jamaican dollar that the government seems to be pursuing as a matter of unannounced policy, end quote. The Lasco-affiliated companies involved in financial services and distribution made higher revenues and net profit during the full year ending March 2018. But the third in the triad, which is engaged in manufacturing, recorded reduced earnings. Lasco Financial Services made $254 million net profit, equating to a 35% rise in net profit. Meanwhile, it made $1.6 billion on revenues. This is a 51% increase. Lasco Distributors made $1 billion net profit, which represents a 65% rise in net profits. On the revenue side, there was a 3.1% increase to $16.3 billion. On the other hand, Lasco Manufacturing reported lower sales and lower profit. The company made $560.6 million in net profit, down 21%, while revenue slipped 3% to $6.7 billion. On the international scene, stocks dropped on Friday after the Trump administration said it will impose a 25% charge on up to $50 billion in Chinese goods, raising fears of a trade war looming between the U.S. and China. Details in this report.
This is not the huge event it used to be because the options market has dramatically changed. There are now weekly options in stocks. There are monthly options. So the market is, in a sense, a lot more efficient and it's smoother, but it's a little less volatile on these kinds of days. And maybe that's a good thing for the markets. Take a look at the sectors, and Jim's right. It's consumer staples. In fact, more defensive tone overall for the market. REITs up slightly. Telecom up after a down week overall. Industrials have drifted lower throughout the week. Banks just have not done anything for a long time. That's the major sort of loss of leadership group that we've got. It's a bit of a pause this week. We're basically flat on the S&P. It's mostly sideways. But I would say the leadership is still intact. Take a look. Consumer discretionary first was dragged upward by the retailers. They're down a little bit this week. And now we've had the media stocks doing really well, and that's in the consumer discretionary group. Home builders were weaker in this sector. Consumer staples have come up a little bit. Technology is maintaining its leadership position there. Healthcare has done really well. That was helped by some of the merger stuff this week. Overall. And banks is, of course, the big group that has basically given up its leadership position, down 3.5%. And that's just in 1 week. And by the way, all the European banks, they're also to the downside as well. What's mattering to the market right now? On the China trade issues, the tensions are still, I think, small. But the reason I think we're down today is there's concern that it could escalate. There are various reports out there that there are other tariffs being prepared. And now you've got a tit for tat thing. And now you've got an escalation. And I think that is the concern for the market right now.
And the European Commission has cleared the bid by Comcast for its acquisition of Britain's Sky. The cable company submitted a $31 billion bid for Sky in April, prompting the European pay TV group to drop its support for a lower offer from Rupert Murdoch's 21st Century Fox. Earlier this week, Comcast announced a $65 billion bid for Fox assets that are currently in an agreement to be acquired by Disney. That includes Fox's movie studios, stakes in Hulu, Sky and Endemol Shine Group, as well as Networks FX, Star TV, and National Geographic.
They're going after a very valuable asset that puts them as a big player in the international playing field. And I think one thing that's become perfectly clear to me, if not everybody else, is the media landscape, which was always very U.S. and Hollywood-centric, is now really, it's a global business.
On the foreign exchange market, the US dollar is being sold for an average $132.52. The Canadian dollar is trading at $101.30. The pound sterling is costing $174.41, while the euro is trading at $152.05. In Friday's trading session, the JC Combined Index declined by 46.24 points to close at over 311,600. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 49 stocks, of which 23 advanced, 24 declined, and 2 traded firm. The junior market index advanced by 31.9 points to close at over 2,900 points. Among the winners were Blue Power Group, Caribbean Cement Company, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, Carreras, and Sipony Group. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living, 1834 Investments, Berger Paints Jamaica, Consolidated Bakeries, and Dermon Trading Jamaica. Stocks traded firm for Paramount Trading and Proven Investments. Lasco Manufacturing was a volume leader with over 1 million units, followed by NCB Financial Group with over 700,000 units, and Victoria Mutual Investments Ordinary Shares with over 500,000 units. News now in oil. Oil prices fell sharply Friday with benchmark Brent crude dropping more than $2 a barrel ahead of an OPEC meeting in Vienna next week. Brent crude oil fell $2.15 a barrel to $73.79. US WTI was $1.77 lower at $65.12 a barrel. Brent crude is on track to end the week down more than 3%, while its counterpart is heading to fall 0.7%. And that's it for Frontline Business. I'm Shade Masters. Regional stories are next after the break.